16 minutes after 8. This is my banner. It's a relationship Friday. Today we're talking about all the things that we keep away from each other. We keep away from our spouses. Different stories were presented this week and we thought it was horrifying. Can we get some kind of education? Can we get counselors to speak to? Can we open the platform so that you can also come forward with some of your issues? One of my colleagues shared this incident that happened. This is real life, about a woman, a wife actually, who was not working. I mean, she was just doing little things at home. Husband would go to work every day and come back. But guess who in the end had a property hidden? It was the woman who stayed at home every day. It was shocking to the man who had to discover that later on when the woman died. We have various incidents happen, people having children that some husbands are not aware of, some wives are not aware of. So these are the issues, the secrets that we tend to keep in relationships that we're talking about this morning. What are the things that we should keep and what are the things that we should disclose? My guest seated, Madam Grace Amona is a counselor, and our own counselor, Cyril George Luthort, is joining us. It's been a while, so good morning to you.
Good morning.
Counselor, how be 2016, Afishapa?
I think over to it. The 2016 is not starting well with me.
It will end well.
No, as for ending well, I'm making sure it will end well. But utility people are some. In Adenta, they are becoming criminals, and I'm saying it here because, you know, in our flats there are no meters for water, and for so many years there was no water around. They brought us bill that once the meter, once it's a flat rate, we need to pay. What do we do? 12 cities. We have to combine for 4 years, give them the money to use to develop Ghana. Now that we've gone to a place still no meter, you know what they brought this December? 113 Ghana cities a month. I'm not running a pure water business.
For a household?
For a room.
Wow. 100 and what?
113 Ghana cities, as if I'm doing pure water business.
Okay, maybe it was the increment. You remember the December 14
so
increment?
We are on flat rates, so I can't use that quantity of water. I know I bath 2 times a day. I don't drink their water from the tap because it's not too wholesome to drink. So I'm spending water on pure water, which has been increased. What is this sort of sabotage that is happening in the country? Amazing. I want them to be angry like the way I'm passionate, so that they think about it. There's no meter.
But this is interesting because Adenta is like the new place. Oh yeah, we provided them with water.
So now they are punishing us. You know what they want us to do? The number of gallons they are producing there, whether we use or not, they want to make sure that we pay for the gallons they are producing.
But we also pay equally. Those of us who buy water, we buy at almost the same rate. So
for me, I was buying
deal
before.
with it.
No,
at least there's water flowing in your tap.
No, I was buying before. So now, if there's a relief that I shouldn't buy, why should you come and give me a flat rate? If there's a meter, I don't think I'll consume that.
So what do you intend doing about it?
Well, 2 things involved. They should reconsider this thing and bring meters to the place, or they should stop billing us or cut off the water to my house.
Okay.
Because I don't pay.
We'll have this conversation after.
So that's the 2016 challenge. And the thieves, the teachers, some schools are stealing. Is your child kindergarten student doing classes, extra classes?
No.
KG2, KG3.
Doing extra classes?
So that is really criminal. I mean,
what
a two-year-old doesn't even. You don't even have to give that child any homework.
Included it to the school fees, and if you don't pay, they will search your ward that he has not paid fees because 2 years. What is extra classes for kindergarten? What sort of criminal things are these?
Wow. Okay.
It's incredible.
It looks like you should be on news desk at 10.
I'll be very happy you invite me because I want to deal with these people. Let's change Ghana.
I mean, they shouldn't even give them homework. I have a 2-year-old who brought in homework, and I told the mother, "Don't you even dare."
Really?
Yeah.
I have an almost 4-year-old who comes home with homework.
That's.
But sometimes it's just, maybe draw your head or something.
2-year-old. What does that child know?
You see?
2-year-old. That's it.
So they grow and they don't know anything in school, and it's because they destroy their brain
that's
from their
harassment.
childhood.
That's really harassment.
We should have this discussion.
You're harassing
sometime.
the child.
We'll have a discussion like that sometime. But let's talk about this. What we have on the table today.
Okay.
You're a counselor. You've certainly heard a lot of things that we haven't. So can you share with us some of the things that people keep away?
If you have an investment like you discussed, the lady having a house and the husband not knowing about that is not really that bring conflict. Because in a relationship like that, everything must be on board. There should be transparency. When you love somebody, you share everything with that person. Love is sharing. So if you keep that thing, I always tell my couples, if you don't want to have a joint bank account, there's no compulsion about it. But let your spouse know how much you're earning. You come home, hello, darling, this is how much I earn this month. He will not go to your bank and sign the check. But if you don't, there'll be a lot of demand on you. There'll be a lot of secrecy. I wonder how much he's earning. Why is he not putting so much money into the relationship? But once you are transparent about it, this is my pay, this is your pay. Then when I know that you're giving your mother 100 cedis a month for her upkeep, I don't mind. But if you keep everything under the table, it brings conflict, serious conflict.
So for
everything must be transparent.
Everything
be transparent. Where you have a child somewhere, make it open. Because I've had cases where the child was hidden, and then when it came to light, it brought serious conflict. It almost broke the relationship, but by the grace of God. Don't lie. If you don't tell, you're lying. Why do you lie to somebody you love? The first foundation of marriage is love.
But if I'm not telling, how does that translate to me lying? I haven't said anything.
You lie.
So I
you're
couldn't
keeping
be lying.
You're lying. You're sleeping on the same bed with somebody, and you're keeping a dark secret. Having a child somewhere, it's a dark secret. Even if you had that child before you enter the relationship, that is a very good opportunity for you to tell. But if you don't, it will. And then, people gossip. Walls have ears. By all means, your spouse will get to know. Even from your own relative. But tell your spouse. A friend on them when you're yes, you said something. And then you start thinking. You get so worked up about it. And you even stop loving the man because he's hiding this thing from you. So you better be transparent.
Councillor Luthor, I mean, I know you're on my side sometimes. you couldn't disclose everything 100%.
Well, thank you so much. You see, usually people want to know the difference between privacy and secrecy. So some are keeping things that they think this is private and it's not secret. There are other times that some secrets that we want to keep, we are keeping them because we think that they will not have anything to do with a relationship. So they want to keep it. But there are some that are not secret, because for me, I see secret to be something that is between me and myself. So once a third party is aware, it's no more secret. So that's my own. Like if I have a child cannot be a secret.
That's right.
If I own a property, it can be a secret. If I have a car, it can be a secret. Even if I have a girlfriend behind my wife, it's not a secret. So when we say secret...
So what, should you disclose something like that?
Oh, I mean, those of you who think you are brave.
Honey, I'm keeping a girlfriend.
I mean, like this 14th, one of the things people should do is that call your wife and tell your wife, I have a girlfriend apart from you. Are you aware? Her name is Mama V. And I mean, let's see what will happen.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, no. Are you disclosing because you regret it, or you are just letting her know?
But the fact, no, she should know.
Like, this is for your information.
She should sit up that there's a girlfriend in the picture. I mean, it's not disclosed. That's healthy competition in the marriage.
Because there's a third party knows about it.
So it's not a secret.
It's no longer a secret.
Do you understand me?
But privacy, I would say, is your mobile phone. That is private to you.
You get it?
A letter addressed to you is private.
Okay.
So we should distinguish between secrecy and privacy.
Okay, fine. I'm sure we get that distinction clear.
Yeah.
So when you say I'm keeping privacy from you like a child is not a secret. So anybody who you marry has a child and has kept it, she's wicked or he's wicked. This wickedness. This is not secrecy. And such people, they don't need to even have you lock your door and sleep with them in a room. Why? You get it? So something secret is something within you that nobody knows. So when I unveil to you now, it is no more a secret because I've told you, Mama V. So all the stories that are happening, I hear people, I have so much secrets in my office that spouses are not even aware. Because a man walks to you, and there are some that comes to sit down before marriage. They tell you things that the girl doesn't know. Then you weigh it that this girl, per the conversation I had with her, if she hears this, she told me from the beginning that for her, she's gone through a lot of abortion because she doesn't want to start marriage with a child. So she suffered it, and by the grace of God, she's changed and she's clear. so she doesn't want to go out with anybody's husband because she doesn't want a child. She can't take care of somebody's child. Okay, that's her mentality. Then a young man who comes to counseling, you say, Charlie, let's go full disclosure on the oath of secrecy and privacy. And she comes and say that, counselor, I want to tell you that I'm afraid to tell the lady I love her so much, but I have a son that when I was in school, a certain lady said, and this is what they always say, no man will come and say I impregnated somebody. A certain lady said I've impregnated her, so my mother said we should go for a child because children are life and what blah blah. They come and lie to you. Then you can see from the beginning of the conversation that this girl has swear that no child will come out of wedlock for her. How do you ask the two of them to marry? So you provoke this thing and talk to the lady. So now they're going to marry this girl,
right.
this guy, in case you find out that he has a child. Say, me, counselor, even if I know today, the marriage ends now. You see the reaction?
Oh, yes.
So immediately at the counseling level, she has reacted. Then you just connect that reaction. That young man, what did you think you should tell this girl about this child and see her reaction so that we go ahead? So these things should not happen if there is proper counseling.
Okay.
That somebody will hide a child before they marry. But families who can sit down and know I have a son and can hide from you, Mavi, and I'll marry you later, we go for funeral and say, and in there, George Benny. Those families are wicked families. It means they can marry for me and you will know. So if you are watching me and your family has done that to you, you should be considering leaving that marriage and looking for a new one.
But Auntie Grace, whose responsibility is it to disclose?
Oh,
is it the family
the partner?
or
No, the partner.
The partner.
The partner must disclose it. And if whichever reaction, whether it comes from the young man or the young lady, as you go through the counseling process, you should try and disabuse their minds. There have been some difficult situations where stories have come and there have been violent reactions. But by the end of the 6 months, peace reigned. And the marriages are going on fine. Sometimes they go in, both of them come into the relationship with kind of expectations and preconceived ideas. If you do that, in the middle of somewhere, you'll be disappointed. So the best thing to do is to try and find out what they want. Why are you marrying each other? It's the first question I always ask them. Some of them will go round and round and round. She's beautiful. She's kind. I love her. I met her and she's humble. They go round and round and round and they will not actually hit on the nail.
But which one is hitting the nail? What
When
do you
they go
expect
round,
when you
round
ask
like
me
that?
something like that?
Oh, I'm expecting something solid. Some of them will hide even behind the fact that, oh, she's God-fearing. I mean, that is rubbish.
So what is solid?
I love her. Love is very, very important. And I am pledging whatever her faults are, I'm going to stick to her.
Okay.
Because nobody is perfect. So by the time we go through the 6 months, you've already put them together. But sometimes you'll be surprised when you think you've done a very good job. After about a few months, you start getting calls, something like that. Then you bring them back again. So what I tell them that I want to see you after 3 months.
Okay.
After the 3 months, faults might come out. Because people are very clever at hiding their characters. So it is only when they come together that certain things surface. So when it gets like that, and then often, as I said, expectations, when they are too high, break up relationships. So don't go in there expecting the guy earning 10,000 cedis a month and giving you 5,000 and we're going to build a house in a year. He's going to buy me a BMW, So I always tell them, don't make false promises. If you love somebody, if you want to marry her, be straightforward.
Okay.
Be straightforward.
Councillor Luthrots, I couldn't imagine that somebody would be married to some other person. One of my producers, Ablan, shared a story. This is a true life experience of a man who wanted to build.
Excuse me.
And the wife was always, building is very expensive. So wait, let us make enough money. And the man was the one who was going and coming every day and would keep his money in a particular drawer. What he didn't know was that this woman who was saying, oh kakakra a dance de sika wom inti wo de enye hwe ma yen high na yen save sika kakra. This woman was rather building somewhere in the Ashanti region, her hometown.
With that money.
And before he knew,
with that money,
with that money, he would take a bit of the money, and
keep going up and down.
Exactly. So in the end, she had a full building in her hometown, and the man didn't have nothing.
And it will not sound too polite to people, but you see, under the temperament, tribal temperament.
No, but don't bring tribal stuff into this.
At all.
Because this is
her
just
character.
This is
so
one incident.
Let me land.
Okay, you land.
This is boxing me into an atmosphere of displeasure, and I refuse to be boxed. Freedom on my banner. It's a banner. What is?
Okay.
What
Yeah,
is
but it is my banner. It's not what's on your hands.
Okay, so on Bamadi's banner, my photograph is appearing because I am. They are hosting.
Or maybe
now
they schooled her.
The truth of the matter is that we are what we call the tribal temperament. And for example, you will not have a gun doing this because within the sanguine temperament, they are not good at hiding things like you call privacy or secrecy, and that is not their pleasure.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
But within the choleric,
So what's the ever temperament?
Oh, the melancholy. The melancholy, I mean, that's why when you marry an ewe, she can stay in the marriage with you even with more treatment as compared to a girl called Bamagma. So
Really?
you see, if you overlook it, and
So
the Ashanti temperament is the choleric temperament.
Okay, which is
Which is profit at all costs.
Hey.
Our yegu say enya japade. Yen tena wade hu emfa nimguase ekofi. Yeah.
Is this tried and tested?
It's
Is it a
tried
tested?
and tested. Go around and do the
Hey.
research.
Okay.
Tried and tested.
I understand that when the account is going into a marriage, you're told when you go, don't bring any debts, but bring property. That must be ekwawara. Memfa komba. Memfa briefly. You see, so that might be her mentality.
It's not her mentality. It's the upbringing.
No.
You see,
Or
we shouldn't
she
shy
has
away
been-
from
she
the
has been
truth.
schooled to do that.
It is the upbringing
Why?
that you see. It's the upbringing.
Why was she doing that?
No,
in the
she's
first
doing
place?
that because can you imagine that you can come to Kumasi and come and buy cement blocks, and nobody will ask you ukunu what is saying. Then how ukunu. You get what I'm talking about? It means that you cannot build whilst you are in Accra in Kumasi without the support of the family. So it is a family thing. Young friend fear no see you, and your omufie. Why didn't she build in Kaswa and went to build in Kumasi? Because that's where the support system is. So I'm saying that we are neglecting the tribal temperament, which is us. You can have a phlegmatic who is a fancy living with you in this small square, and they will not fight for property and for more. It has a phlegmatic temperament. If there are the people that when they buy lands and you are fighting over it, they can relax and say, "Menko." You know what I'm talking about? So if you see people doing things like this and you want to say they are secret, this girl's own is not a secret.
So this is a tribal.
This is a tribal
temperamental something.
Trying to say that aware nye ye kra, edin wom, adwapade wom. So their own is that edin ni adwapade there. They are those who marry with names. Nechi yahin. Or on show kra. Ni papa den. Or fi brand bensu no fi. And I'm saying that comparing within the temperament weaknesses, these things are found within tribal temperament. I mean, you can't have a gun. Guns, simply put, they are not property owning people. Eko eheko. Eko eheko kra. Oshiane, Wachema Shiane, Jay Shiane. This is my father's house. It's not Jay Washiane.
But
a guy can live in a
that.
single room with a wife and produce 5 children. I mean, you see, when you understand the tribal temperament, you not go and look for secrets and say these are secrets. You see, that's one. So this girl's story, I want to.
So you want to look at the background of where the person is coming
That's
from.
one. Number two, and why they came in. She was talking about high expectation. There are some people that they don't call it high expectation. Within their family where they belong to, what you call high expectation is a normal expectation. Like somebody said this January to the husband, well, I'm going to stop taking the children to school because I go and I want to drop the student in school, and it's always Range Rover, and know that with this small Kia, if you don't get me a January one, like my cousin's husband has just gotten, and so the family they belong to, they drop their children in school with Range Rover. So if you don't get me a Range Rover, I'll go. So this one is not high expectation. It's a normal expectation because it's a family tree. Mofia Mondrai, Rave Roger, and my children are going to
school. Your husband afford it?
It is not about affordability.
Why did you go into the marriage because you want Range Rover?
This is where you came to pick me. That's where I'm coming from. So no,
do you want a long-lasting relationship?
So Auntie Grace,
I wouldn't.
We acknowledge that there are things that you are bringing because of how you were brought up.
Yes, everybody is coming with a baggage. The baggage. This one has a baggage. That one has a baggage. They bring it together, and if it's not well balanced, this is what will happen. That there'll be complaints. There will be secrets, like somebody building a house in her hometown, the other one demanding Range Rover. See, this sort of thing, that marriage has no foundation.
So they're not married?
It's you know, why do you go in there all based on materialism? This one has, you know, I must have a house. I must have a Range Rover. I must have a BMW. Why? Don't you think about the future of a life between you and your husband?
But is
between
it,
you and
is
your
it
wife?
too much to also think, okay, what if he's not there? How am I going to survive?
Well,
I should be able to take care of the children.
It's a very good decision, but you see, I have come to believe
that's what we call planning.
You see,
you plan for that.
Yes.
Once you've decided to have children, I mean, you don't want to have children into a vacuum, in air. Where will they sleep? But a young couple cannot, you know, why are you thinking about when he's not there? You're young. Enjoy your life.
Yeah, but anything could happen.
But then you plan together.
But what if I'm using what he said, the tribal thing? What if I know where he's coming from? And I'm thinking, okay, let me just use the.
I wouldn't
let me use
agree
the
with
baggage.
him to a point.
Let me use the baggage you're bringing because of your upbringing.
Yes.
So I know the home where he's coming from.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, should something happen, the family will be fighting with me over this small house and the properties we have. So let me keep mine.
These days we have the PNDC law. No family will come and take the car, the house, the furniture in the home. That law is made for couples, for married people.
Mommy, they are doing it.
But we see people,
an ordinary policeman in the street can come and stop them.
Mommy, they are doing it.
Unless people are not educated enough
they are doing it
to understand the law.
Maybe use the education.
So
but
the education
will go into that.
It's very, very important.
Look,
but
just this morning before I entered the studio, I spoke to a woman who has been punished, and the secret is that now saying this is the strategy they do. Let me say it in a local parliament. Me Yao, you see the style?
Unless the house is a family house.
No. The man is living with you. He's maltreating you, and they've
gone. Okay. That's a different.
No, PNDC law, whatever is saying that for that matter, settle the woman to go. He says, I am not ready to let you go.
But because that's a different matter. Property.
Because when you sit here and you are suffocated, we'll see whether you go or you not go. Some even go to the extent of marrying new women and bringing them home.
Oh, I know.
And you are supposed to stay there.
Horrible things are happening.
Because of this PNDC law, if you now my chainsaw, you will or whatever it is. What I'm saying here is that, you see, there are a lot of people who are thinking like Mama B is saying, I can see what is happening. Maybe even from the background where I'm coming from. Single parenting. My mother is telling me that he started the whole world with my father. They married for 21 years after building a house in Abokobi. And after building the house, all your father did to me was to drive me and went for a new Alomo Jata to come and stay in the house. For that matter, in this marriage, I'm also going. I want to be extra careful. So there's an upbringing. Counseling breaks them down, like you said. Counseling change your orientation, it changes their mind. But this word called secrets in the relationship, there are some things that they are not secret. A child, which is a living thing, can never be secret.
Oh, definitely.
A house, which is a property that everybody can see and every edifice, can never be a secret. So those of you who are married to women and you have children that are hidden, you see, it's so painful.
It has to be disclosed.
It is disclosed, but the family who go to name their children, because in Africa, you can't name a child without the family support.
Oh, definitely.
So I can't understand how on earth that your son will go and have a child and it will be hidden. So I believe that this secret, keeping secret, you should know what you are keeping. what is secret, and out of what you think is secret, you keep. But these things, houses, girlfriends, having children out there, you can't call them secret. Are things you have within you.
Because
my womb is removed. I went to the hospital alone. It's between me and the doctor. This is a secret I'm keeping. When I sleep, I can go into seizure. So I know I went for medical checkup quietly, and I was told I'm suffering from epilepsy. This is a secret. I have a particular mark at my back because I had a surgery. It is a secret. So you see, there are things that when you say you are hiding from people, until you expose them to it,
I'm impotent and I'm not disclosing.
Yes, I'm impotent. And some people say they don't know they're impotent.
They keep.
No, a church just blessed a couple, and they said they don't know the man is impotent because the man was complaining, and they prayed for the man. And the only way for them to know whether he has erectile dysfunction is to get the man a wife, because when he has any intercourse before marriage, it is a sin. So the church has blessed the marriage for both of them just about 2 months ago.
You sound like you disagree with this. How else could they have tested him?
Oh, my sister! What are you talking about? They should let you go into the marriage and you become evidence to the church.
You don't believe in prayers?
Oh, hey, no, Jesus, but that's okay. This one.
Wickedness, this is not secret.
Auntie Grace, what I wanted to follow in what he just said, the medical things that he was saying, and the fact that these are secret, you tend to agree. Are these not things that you should
but these things you should
disclose?
Okay. You should disclose. Because if you don't, there's the ample opportunity for divorce. I mean, if you don't have a womb, tell me, I love you, I want to marry you, despite everything.
At what point should I?
Before the marriage.
So if
you do it counseling, you must
told
disclose
me
it.
after the marriage, what
if you tell the counselor,
as a counselor, what do you expect me to do?
I cannot tell your partner. At the session, you must tell. Or you must tell him or her before you come. Because when you tell that person, that will motivate her or him whether to go on with the wedding, with the marriage. So at that point, you come and say, okay, there's something we have learned, and I think we have declined. So, Auntie Grace, we're sorry, we cannot get married because of a reason which we're not telling you. But at least you've been honest. If you know you have erectional malfunction and you are treating it, you can tell her, I have this problem, but it's being treated. But if you don't tell these things, and then it comes into light after the marriage, I mean, every court can give you a divorce, because the marriage can never be consummated. There'll be no children in the marriage, and maybe she was expecting children.
You can't wait for God.
And he was expecting children. But you have deprived that person from that joy by you not telling.
That's lying.
Can you tell if your partner is keeping a secret? Are there signs of it?
There are times I can see the signs. Because, for example, this man, like the story you share from a Blanche level, some people are very inquisitive and they can know such things. If you are building, you can chance on conversation. And to much I said, there are people that can chance on some conversations. The other people that, like my uncle said, when you are living with a woman who is not gainfully employed and she's just a housewife, you only know the day.
Charlie, a housewife is not just though.
I'm saying that it's not gainfully employed because housewife is part of your normal duties.
Okay, part of okay, you continue.
It's part of your normal duties.
We won't get into that battle this morning.
Because I hear most of you are asking that you should be paid when you're sitting at home. I don't know where that sort of mentality is coming to people now.
Wait, that's not the topic for discussion.
Okay.
Me and you will go on that battle. Go ahead.
That battle should be paid for what?
You should. It's okay.
I leave it there, I think you are part of the people advocating for the payment. But what I'm saying is that there are things that you can easily see and realize that there's a secret here. A young lady came into my office and has discovered that the husband's expenditure has changed. And Charlie, she has seen that the husband is sending money somewhere from the account. So she has followed the account and realized that there's a particular name that is receiving the amount. She's gathered this thing for 3 years. She's just traveled to where the bank place, go and did all the check and balances, and has discovered that the husband that she's married to for 8 years has a 3-year-old son that the man was transferred recently to Ho for a banking activity. It's like something dropped on her. There's expenditure going. So you see, she
so something
followed
will
it,
lead you to,
and definitely she has found out that there's a boy, there's a girl there connected to the lady, and just realized that the lady in question was going out with her husband before, and they said they have broken up. So the name brought a reflection. So people can see some secret and they can discover it. Some people are very, very, like the melancholy can research quietly without getting hurt and knowing what the truth is. So some people can know. There are other people too that some secrets, they can hide it, like you won't know. A young lady recently was discovered to be epileptic. And you know, epilepsy has its times of showing. But her own was hidden for some time. The husband just discovered recently, not even a husband, they were going for counseling. And it rained. The June 3rd flood. So what happened was, they had a place that they got panic or whatever. All of a sudden, the girl has seizure. Giddy, giddy, giddy. Hey, somebody were going for counseling for marriage. And they've gone close to 4 months. So at least, you should be able to tell the counselor about your medical status so that they should hear the guy. They rush the guy to the girl to Kolebu. And the doctors realize that you are having A, B, C, D around the place. And then they finish. When they ask the girl, the doctor say you have this. Oh yes, it's been there since I was 6. But I was waiting that I'll tell you later. The young man wants to make a decision now. They say they should wait and pray. And the guy has lost the interest because he has a wrong mentality of who Billy is. That says he knows what Billy is. Meaning, and I mean, to me,
the young man must take a decision.
Me dream son
Either
so
to
for
help
see Billy yes sign area and te bomb by a counselor me me ja home about because me to me why I'm say oh catch them me to me me come say me bomb pie home yes I yes and makokum me hu say me to me why obi a Billy na I say oh Billy nya yare money there be me dream me who be that obi atojemu. So you see, like you said, the baggage the guy is coming from. So there are some things you need to let it be known easily. Okay. Like sickle cell electrophoresis, I am AS, you are SS. We don't marry in the name of love because you are SS, I am SS. Let it be disclosed so we can know some of them.
Auntie Grace, I just want to say something.
It is usually proper for the counselor to give them a form to disclose so many things.
Okay, I'll let you continue. We have Prince joining us because we've activated the lines now. You can give us a call. It's on your screens. Hello, Prince. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mama V.
Yes, Prince. Thanks for calling. Let's hear you.
I want to find out. I followed the discussion to some extent, but I'm being confused with something. Are we not saying that the Bible principle for better for worse doesn't hold when we're talking about pre-counseling and those things to find out before?
Okay.
That's what I want to ask the counselor about.
All right, sure. Thank you very much, Prince, for calling.
Oh, it does hold. For better for worse. That's what I said. You must disclose whatever is bothering you, so then I can take a decision. This is what is wrong with my wife, or this is what's wrong with my husband to be, my wife to be, and I want to stay with that person. So it is important to tell. It is very, very important.
Okay, I'll let you have your say on that.
But for better and for worse, it's not biblical. It's not in the Bible. So where is that one coming from?
Hey, okay.
Well,
Dominic
I can tell you that
Dominic and Seshi is joining us. There's a very important question I want to ask after that. But okay. Dominic, good morning. Let's hear you. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes, Dominic.
You know, when people are going for marriage, they do some medical. Okay. And from my practice, what I've observed that when they go and do secrecy test, and they presume, most of the counselors or reverend ministers presumed the person is A, but it may happen that the person is negative, but can still be AC, and the other pattern may be AS, and they may give birth to a child which is a second child. So the lack of knowledge on the part of most counselors also cannot expose some of these second diseases.
Okay.
And so when they give birth, it may result in giving birth to second children. So most counselors should have in-depth knowledge on this hereditary diseases,
okay.
Such as CCPD, those kind of diseases that can be passed on from couples to their children, so that most of these things can be avoided.
Sure.
Because I've done a lot of medical examination for couples. They don't do that for person. They just do secret. It's negative, you can go ahead. But it doesn't necessarily mean the person is negative and it's A. If you are negative, it can be AC.
Yes.
And if the couple is positive, it can be AS or SS or AC. So the likelihood of giving birth to a second child or a second child is very high. So this is to be taken care of, and most of these secrecy
we
that
do,
is
we do.
happening.
We do.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dominic.
Thank you so much. Before
Thank
we
you.
start the counseling, we let them go for all these tests. HIV is included. And so far, I must thank God, I haven't had any couples that are HIV positive.
So which one is
So
your
if the
business?
blood-
Even if they went for the medical checkup and they came back, you're not going to say, based on the results, I would advise that you don't marry. You're waiting for them to make that decision, right?
You don't advise, you counsel.
Okay.
You counsel. This is the situation. You tell them exactly, if it's AS and AA, you tell them plainly that you're likely to have an AS child. And that's not, if it's AS, you tell them plainly that along the line, one of your children might pick SS. And SS, to keep an SS child, is a lot of responsibility. Are you willing to go through it?
Okay. But
What
this
do you
is
think?
this
You
is
know,
pre-counseling and everything.
Yeah.
What if these big secrets are discovered during the marriage? What's the way forward?
You see,
Or
the
you
question is that-
counsel, you counsel.
You still have to go
You
for
still
counsel.
have to counsel.
You see,
You
what,
still have
I-
to counsel.
what I realize now is that people are interested in premarital counseling because of the wedding, but they are not interested in postmarital counseling because they believe that we are already in it. It's part of the fair share of marriage. But if something was supposed to be disclosed before marriage and you come and meet, I don't see it to be better and for worse, like they say. Because the thing was not disclosed. There was no disclosure, but the thing was there before. Like we go for medical and they say this thing has been there since I was 3. And we've gone for counseling far back to marriage. And you've not told me. So in that context, you see, it's not like the thing just occurred in the marriage. There are things that just come up. Like your husband has surprised you with an attack which I call demonic attack by going to bring a child out of wedlock. That one is a surprise. It came into the marriage, not a child before, but within all your sacred level of praying with the husband who is a church leader, he just appeared at one vision. People, every time a wife will have a husband having a child, they dream. And I dreamt that there was a child coming, and I dreamt there was a child coming.
He's already heard it. The wife was already heard it from a friend. And
Also
they
to
pretend that they've dreamt.
Also,
Let's
my
speak to
dream.
Bachman. Bachman is in Cape Coast. He's joining us. Hello, Bachman. Good morning.
Hello, Mwazi. Good morning.
Bachman, let's hear you.
Well, I want to ask if there's been an avalanche of secrecy before the marriage, and then, like you already asked, you get into it, and then it's facing you in your face, and you go for counseling again, and you feel you can't continue again. Can you back out, or you're being so mean to your wife or your spouse, so to say?
All right, Bachman, good question.
You can back out.
You can back out. But
You don't stay in that thing. Leave and go. You see, I don't know people fear divorce.
But isn't that
Well,
what
as-
we put
as
in people's
counselors,
minds?
as-
That's
as
why.
counselors.
Who put what?
That's why.
You know,
just like what you said.
I tell you
so
something.
people are not afraid to
Uh-huh.
back out after 3 months, after 6 months,
Yes,
after a year.
yes.
People are just walking out
That's
of the
okay.
marriages.
And the
No,
cause of divorce is always there before the
very-
marriage.
this is
Nothing
what-
new can walk you out of marriage.
This
if
is
it's not
what
there
we
before.
want to avoid. This is what we
You
want to
understand?
avoid.
So for me,
Pre-counseling is mainly about making the marriage permanent. Because the divorce rates are so high, we're trying to sort of try and educate the young people, tell them how to live in a good atmosphere, how not to expect too much from each other. And when such things come, like Mr. Bachman is talking about, if it's a serious affair, like a disease, like epilepsy, you should tell me. Or like you can't have children both ways, the man or the woman. Even if it can be cured within the relationship, fine. But if it's permanent, if it cannot be done, you have every right to back out of the relationship because you have been driven into a place where you never dreamt of being there.
Okay.
So in that
But you
case,
see,
you
the
can
problem is that-
you can go.
But
You've been
the
boxed
problem
in.
is that
You've been
these
boxed
things-
in,
listen to
and you
Bachman.
try and open the box and get out.
But
Bachman
Bachman says,
says
I've gone for counseling,
series.
series of counseling. Right now,
But
they've
he
resulted
said things
into...
have been coming up. I mean, the person
Things have
kept-
been coming up. If
the person
it's
kept
really
a number of
serious,
things away from me.
yeah. If it's serious, you have to advise yourself now. Now you should put all your cards on the table.
Okay.
And when we came, this is that, and I think I don't think I can continue
Okay.
with this relationship. Why not? The marriage has not taken place. You know, if,
No,
if
but from
you,
what he
if
said,
you look
this-
ahead,
this is
in
a
the
marriage that's
Yeah,
ongoing.
he's already in the marriage.
They are
Yeah.
going for forth and back counseling.
You only
and they've now
discover.
resorted to
You
prayer.
only discover
Yeah, don't pay,
afterwards.
Nami,
what are the issues? We can
Okay.
you can
So-
talk to me after.
All right.
after,
So you
after.
can, Bachman, you can give us
You
a call
can-
right
okay,
after.
right,
We've
after
just
we
got
can
some
talk about
limited
it.
time. So let me read messages and let's
can,
get your,
yeah,
your
we can-
reaction.
we can talk
And
to
this
him
is
later.
from WhatsApp. Sometimes we copy things from Europe while no room to accommodate them in Africa. Example, what if your brother should educate you at the time your parents were dead and you now want everything to be for you and your wife, but in Ghana, educating someone is an investment? That's a question. I'm sure this is coming from a personal experience. Okay. Ahomka inspiration. Thank you for your inspiration, Charlie, right now. This one says, hi, once again, I'm watching the program. What the counselor is saying is right regarding his support for sex before marriage. Hey, Charlie, we are not there. Nanaya obeying.
No.
Temple praise in Tessano.
Did you know what I say that?
Okay, keeping things away from your partner is very bad, but I would like to know from the counselors, is it good to disclose your ex-relationships to your partner? This will box up with your last say on this. We've got just about a minute to wrap up.
To disclose your past relationships. Why not? Why not?
But that's a choice.
That's a choice.
Okay.
But if you think that past relationship will haunt you, you better tell, so that that person can get off your back.
Okay, add that
Because
with the last thing you leave us on the subject of disclosure.
On this disclosure, I think you have to be transparent. It's very, very important. Before the marriage and within the marriage. You know, it is very, 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 very important. And don't blame, when things like this happen, don't blame your parents. My mother said I shouldn't say it. My father said I shouldn't. You have to take your own responsibility. This is the person I want to live with for the rest of my life. Everything that I must, he or she must know, must know.
Okay, all right. Councillor, quickly
Well,
on this.
I believe that disclosing your exes in a relation, like you said, is a choice. However, there are some that if they don't really worry you, why do you even have to talk about it? There are people who have spoken about their past relationship to their husbands, and the husbands are worried, so if you had a guy like this, they look at themselves and see their ex and realize that there's nothing about the ex better.
That's arrogance.
So what happened that you could leave such a guy and come for somebody like me? So the men are worried. So my problem is that don't go and worry anybody's son.
The women
Once
too.
you left a minister and came for an assemblyman, let the assemblyman enjoy the marriage as an assemblyman. Don't compare him, because you will not do the comparison. But in his mind, he's comparing. How do you leave a minister of state and come for me assemblyman? He'll be wanting to become an
Why should
minister
you
of state.
compare? Why
understand?
should-
That's
why
the
should
man's
you even
mind.
compare
So
yourself
disclosing
to the person?
past is, for me, it's not too important. But if there's anything within the past that can become a trouble in a current relationship, then disclose it. But know when to disclose.
All right.
Some people are too fast to disclose. And this time, they start a relationship, and all of a sudden, for this time, I decided I'm not going to have sex before any marriage again, because the previous one I had, we had more than 7 abortions. And for that matter, this time, I want to go no sex.
I don't know,
People
I don't
do
know.
this before, just
I
at the
don't
first
know,
date,
I don't
because
know.
they suspect the guy knows that he'll be requesting for sexual intercourse. So they want to prevent before. You can see both knows when they are requesting for
Okay.
it. So they do
I
that.
get
But
it.
I hope that people want to. Somebody asked that they want to call us back for
Yeah.
the thing. 0277
Okay.
60. Mine is always there. I can put it there for you.
But because I don't have
0277
time, you can call the number right back,
609644.
030221169102, and then we'll give you the contact. Thank you for watching the AM show today. Enjoy the weekend. We're back next week, God willing.